mountain climbs, we bring you every line. From dirt to asphalt, lights go green. Battle hard, chase the dream. Every lap, every turn. Feel that engine burn.
The views and opinions shared on this program belong solely to the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors, affiliates, or broadcast partners.
All right, race fans, let's rev it up!
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome in to your favorite racing talk show. This is indeed the show that started it all, the Revved Sports Show from Texas. Showtime Bobby Chappie right here. The man to your left, that is the Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez, fresh off a top 6 finish in his return to racing. How much fun was that? You were gleaming and glowing for like 3 days after that, dude.
Had a blast, dude. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those things where I'm never really prepared when I go into one of those, but I actually had prepared a little bit and then used, you don't get a lot of hot lap time or anything like that. So kind of the track packing and hot laps and the heat race to figure some stuff out, and it all clicked. So yeah, man, it's a good time. It's a good time racing out there. We're just a great show at Texana Raceway Park, by the way. I mean, everything that went on that night. I mean, energized crowd. I mean, that was one hell of a show right there.
That was a hot crowd. That really was a hot crowd. Wasn't as big as I wanted, but it was hot. They were energetic and ready to go.
Yeah, it was just there was a lot of excitement in the air, and I think it's one of those things where you get towards the end of the summer, and I think it was even more impressive, honestly, with the heat. I mean, the heat was unbearable. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It was way hot all throughout the day. Once we got into the evening, it was a lot better. I can tell you, like for opening ceremonies, because we were the first set of cars, the first class to go out, and I was stuck in that car for a while everything was going on, and it was tough. It was tough, man, but it all worked out, dude. I had a freaking blast. I ain't gonna lie.
Those opening ceremonies used to be longer, and I cut them down.
Yeah,
for the drivers and the fans. I timed it one time. Our introduction was 10 minutes.
Yeah, no,
not in 108-degree heat. It won't be.
It was a hell of a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll get to do that again soon here at some point. But good to be back out at the track. Good to see a lot of old friends. Good to meet some new folks. Good to put names to faces and all that. But yeah, man, yeah, had a really good time.
And that was the first time you've been there since the Capitol improvements. That's the first time you've seen some of the improvements, like the bathrooms and the press box and all that good stuff.
Yeah, hadn't been there in quite a while, and I'm here to tell you, it's a racetrack. I told Cord Beard this, the owner there of the racetrack. It looks, that stuff is what, about 1.5 or 2 years old?
Yeah, roughly. Give or take.
That racetrack looks about 2 years old. I mean, it is that up to date. And look, man, when you go to take a leak at a dirt track and there's granite countertops and air conditioned in the bathroom, come on, man. What else do you need? What else?
Coolest place on the property right there.
Dad had some food from the food barn, said it was excellent. I enjoyed a couple of cool ones afterwards. They were nice and cold and cheap, and hell, home run, buddy. Home run.
Just wish more people would know about it. More people come to it.
Yeah, well,
I say that partially because I am the voice down there, but still,
yeah, I think
we support as. I mean, I'll be supporting H&P again. I support Cotton Bowl. I support them all.
Yeah, just give it a little time. I just think that everything seems to be moving in the right direction, and I cannot wait to get back there again here at some point. But we got a fun program tonight because we're going to break a bunch of stuff down, preview a bunch of stuff. King of the Hill is coming up for the factory stock, so there's that 10K to win. So we'll see which of the heavy hitters. I'm assuming over 100 cars, as always. I think it's usually over 100 cars. So that'll be going on at Boot Hill. We can talk about that. Maybe preview a little bit of Stems, talk some NASCAR, talk some IndyCar. all that good stuff. Looks like the what do they call it? The silly season is finally starting to take its kind of get towards the end. And I'm here to tell you we're about to see a change in the way that we watch racing with all the different names and people moving around.
Yeah, definitely going to be lots of moving parts and pieces. Some moves and changes people like, some moves they didn't like. They, everybody kind of open to their opinion. Got some, I wouldn't call it breaking news just yet. Got some new news update on the Truck Series title sponsorship this afternoon. So lots of moving parts and pieces. Finally got the full schedule, even though we pretty much had it already from the 3 national series. So, I mean, the only thing missing was San Diego, and they got that announcement done yesterday, and the next day they released the full schedule that we pretty much already knew because every single track released their date first. So nothing overly abundantly surprising on that deal, because everything was already announced.
We'll have an update on Greenville Pickens as we kind of touched on that at the end of the program last week, and things moving, it seems, what would be in a positive direction. So we can touch on that also. And maybe something big coming to San Antonio that we can talk about. It doesn't involve 4 wheels. So all of that coming up. But before that, Tripp Whitmire joining us here shortly. And then coming up at the bottom of the hour at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, we will talk to Alli Owens, who had quite the weekend herself.
Broke the internet, didn't she?
yeah, she did. Yeah,
broke the internet, broke some hearts, rattled some feathers.
Yeah.
That's our kind of gal right there.
Yeah, I tell you, man. I tell you. Speaking of breaking the internet and breaking hearts, man, R.I.P. Dolly Parton. Man, 2026 is not being kind to us. Kyle Busch.
And Tim Curry today.
Honestly, dude, I don't know who that is. I saw that one pop up, and people were telling me, oh, that's number 2.
Let's see. Rocky Horror Picture Show. He played It, the original clown, in the original It miniseries on ABC. And then remember that movie with Tom Cruise where he fought the devil way back with the unicorn back in the early 80s before he made it big with Top Gun. He was the devil demon in that too. So he's been lots of versatile actor for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess that's I guess that's 3, right? Because
Hayden Panettiere, you count that as 3. She started it last week. So
Hayden Panettiere, man, it's kind of weird the way that all works. But Dolly, I thought that with everything with Dolly, I thought that things were moving in a better direction for her. But I mean, she doesn't give the appearance of being 80 years old, but she was 80 years old, and that's a lot right there. And then when it's that C word, that's always a tough one. And this is apparently what the underlying cause of this was, a very short battle that she had there. But rest in peace. A lot of hits and a lot of great memories with Dolly Parton, man. That's one of the first country singers that I can remember. I remember them well. I mean, I remember her well. The great Dolly Parton.
That's right. One of the best ever. Wonder what they're going to do with Dollywood. I'm assuming it'll still stay open, right? I mean, you think with the legion of fans that she has, I mean, it'll get bought by Six Flags or something like that. But
yeah. Or if there's family members, it'll get in a big old dispute. People wanting to know who gets what, and then it'll have to close down. But yeah, I'm assuming that will go full tilt. That's kind of one of those parks where you see a lot of these theme parks where they hit their maximum and then they're gone. But Dollywood, that one's managed to that one in Graceland. Well, I don't guess that's a theme park, but
dude, it's like $75 a person to get into Graceland now.
Jeez Louise, dude's been dead a while.
I mean, like I want to go, but damn, it's $75, and you can't take pictures inside there.
Come on, man, what is that?
No pictures or videos allowed inside Graceland.
And that kind of takes fun out of it, We go everywhere with our cameras now. You got to be able to take pictures, take videos. Ozzy Osbourne, crazy. Go pee on the side wall or something.
Can you imagine if they had cameras back then with all the crazy shit he did? Oof.
Oh man, yeah. But I'm assuming Dollywood will continue, and rest in peace to Dolly Parton. That was very much a tragic, just a good person. You know what I mean? She did a lot for people, and from very humble beginnings, and that's one where you hate to lose when you see something flash across Dolly Parton. I mean, not that you hope for the demise of anybody, but it's like, why not anybody else? Why Dolly? Why not somebody else?
And well, it's not one of those cases too. You're like, oh damn, I thought they were already dead.
Oh yeah,
you knew that Dolly hadn't died yet, so
yeah.
It's always bad when that happens. Oh damn, I thought they were already dead.
Yeah. So I guess now the new thing is, so 9/25, they want to make that 9/5. They want to make that Dolly Parton Day. I'd be down with that. That'd be
Yeah,
good, right?
9 to 5. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Day off, national holiday. It's got to be a big deal to have the flags at half cross. So it's got to be a big deal.
Well, I
Although
mean,
I did think that was more reserved for, like, you know, presidents and stuff. But hey,
politicians, stuff like that. But
Politicians.
national treasure.
National treasure. Absolutely. America's sweetheart, Dolly Parton, R.I.P. All right, let's dive into this. We got a lot to break down, and we'll hit the hotline here for the first time this evening. And we welcome to the Revved Up Sports Show. And he is sitting right there. He's sitting tight right there, just like he sits in those race cars. We welcome in this youngster right here. He's one of the good ones, comes from a long family tree there of racing. Our man, Tripp Whitmire. Mr. Whitmire, how we doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
So tell us a little bit about your setup right there. I mean, I see it looks like you got the check back there. I'm assuming, are you sitting at a sim or is that a desk?
Yeah, I'm sitting
Nope. I think you might be muted there, bud.
in my. Hear me?
Let's take a look there and
Yeah,
see.
get deeper, closer to your microphone.
Yeah, see if it tells you. See if it
Am I
tells
good
you.
now?
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sitting on my chassis. Not check.
Nope. Still having a little bit of trouble there. Bobby, go ahead. We'll see if maybe I don't think it's something on my end, but we'll see.
No, I'm not getting him really loud and clear either. So it might be where he's at. They're in Taft, so they're kind of out in the boonies, in the boondocks. Now he's got his tech support coming.
Got the technical support in there. Yeah, you just need to make sure the mic isn't muted, and make sure you're running off of the one source. I know that's kind of, a lot of that stuff may not make sense, but we'll try it again. Give it a shot, my man. Okay, well we'll wait on him there. He's getting so a little bit about this dude. So kind of one of the things. There's lots of things that we want to talk with or talk to him about, but obviously a young man like he is, very well versed on dirt tracks, now making the move over to pavement, and that's it's quite the move right there for a young dude like that.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Now
There
we got you. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, oh, dude, crystal clear. All right, now let's try it. Tell us about your setup there, bud.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my sim chassis. I won that check last year. Still not working.
No, we got you.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
I won that check last year in the sport mod at the Clash in Texana. Sitting in my sim chassis.
Nice.
So, dude, tell us about your background before we get into the jumping into Uncle Joe's modified and all that. You've raced a lot of stuff, and by the way, happy belated birthday! Your dad just told me it was your birthday a couple of weeks ago. But tell us about how you got started, because you're 15 now, right? So, how old were you when you first started, and what all have you raced? Up until the E mod and the limited mod and all of that.
Yeah, I started racing when I was 7 at L87 in a go-kart. Started racing since 2017, 2018. Got a couple championships at L87, South Texas Arena Racing Series, L87, South Texas Race Ranch, Texana, I-37. And then I started going racing at Millbridge, North Carolina with Jude Allgaier. And then went to Oklahoma, did pretty good. Think I made it to the C main first time there, and then I went to Abilene, first lap and hot lap I flipped, and then got second, fourth. I think my tire fell off, but yeah, I started racing go karts, got a couple championships. Finally got into a pure stock with Brad Titzman. He let me just learn how to fill the car and stuff, and like just get used to the racing lines when I need to get off the brake and gas. Started driving that for a little bit. My dad started getting in. We made a passenger seat, so my dad had the duo and the stick, so he hits me when I needed to push the gas pedal. Started racing that, and then mod. We had my dad messed the brakes up. The rear went to the front, so I was racing front brakes instead of. So he messed that up. But got that fixed, and then I think third race, fourth race out, almost got second in the shootout in the mod. So I just took off, got my 8 win streak. Started focusing more on racing. And then my dad finally let me in his limited modified. Um, really have time to work on it. Started racing that, fourth race out. That's when I won this Flash. So I did pretty good in sport mod. Finally, now Joe Armadillo is letting me race his Asphalt Pro modified. So been fortunate to be racing that and a whole bunch of good groups behind me. Help me out.
Absolutely. So, Tripp, kind of talk about just everything that you kind of roll through right there. That's a lot that you've done in a very short amount of time. How much do you go back and attribute to you the starting go karts? Because I know a lot of folks when they have a younger person, they want to skip the go karts, they want to skip the whatever, and they want to throw them right into a stock car or a mini stock or something like that. But I truly think that a go kart or that a quarter midget is definitely. I mean, just the feel, the control, all of that. Kind of talk about that part. I think that's so important in a driver's evolution into being championship caliber.
Yeah. Go karts really help with like lines and like when to pass people, when to watch out for people, and they know when you can learn throttle control, learn different type of lines, and when you need to push the brake and all that stuff. It's a good learning curve. And then if you want to start racing a real life car, I wouldn't jump into a real life car soon and then spend all this money, and then at the end of the day, you don't want to do it no more. So I feel like go karts is the best way to start out, and then vision to vision.
All right, so now we've got the picture up. I don't know if you can see it or not. We've got the picture of Joe's modified with you driving it. I'll admit, man, like when I showed up to Houston a couple of weeks ago and I saw Joe, I asked Joe who was driving. And he said Tripp is driving. I'm like, Tripp who? I was like, I only know one Tripp, and he was like, Whitmire. I'm like, what? And then right after that, your dad came up and tapped me on the shoulder. So, man, how has that transition been for you, dude? Going from a limited modified on dirt to a full fledged, big time, big powered, little bitty tire, big pro modified. How's that transition been for you? You've done pretty good so far.
Yeah, it been. I was scared at first. Up, I said, how am I supposed to pass? And hopefully I don't spin out. Um, yeah, it's been pretty fun. First couple laps, the apron right there, Joe told me not to go on. First 2 laps I went on there, almost 6 tenths off, almost hit the wall, almost spun it out, but I saved it because dirt really helped me save the car. And I just started getting more consistent. I got quicker, but I still wasn't hitting lap times. During uh, Saturday race, first race, I was scared. I didn't want to wreck anyone. I was following 18, hopping, started trying to follow them to see what they were doing different than what I was. Yeah, Joe is good dad, but yeah, my dad knows more stuff on dirt, so that knowledge for dirt, and then asphalt. Joe knows more stuff than my dad, so combined, we just make a super team. But um, yeah, um, it's been pretty fun. Hopefully next time out, hopefully get a win, but see if we can get a top three. It's been pretty fun. It's different for sure. It's way hotter than dirt. Um, I just don't like when it rains on asphalt. Um,
Mm.
um, yeah, I have to hit consistent lines. I have to do the same line over and over again. That's what I've been working on last race. I think that's what helped me get back to Johnny Walker. It's been.
So, Tripp, how's the change been for you? Because I've talked about this a lot of times. I raced pavement for a lot of years, and then have tried to do dirt, and the adjustment has just been. I mean, I'm starting to figure it out, I think, but for you going the other way, I mean, I look at it in retrospect. For me, I wish I would have been on dirt first and then on asphalt. How's that been for you? Because people don't understand. I mean, a lot of people say, "Well, what's the difference? You're just going in a circle, turning left." It's a hell of a lot different than just that part.
Yeah, I feel like dirt when I switched over to asphalt, it was just a different environment. Tires, the car, the setup. Because dirt, it's the other side, it's the other way for asphalt. But yeah, asphalt, it's like it's way faster and like you have to your reaction time's quicker. So you have to think 2 laps, 3 laps ahead. Well, pretty much the whole race ahead. While dirt, you can uh you can think lap by lap, see what feels better, what line feels better. If
Yep.
you want to see where the slick is, where the tack is, just if you're catching the car in front of you, keep running the same line. Asphalt, you just have to keep running the bottom as fast as you can and as consistent and as smooth as you can.
Tripp, I know at the last race there, you were kind of just, it looked like, anyway, from my perspective, announcing that you were kind of biding your time, listening to whoever was on that radio, because with about, I guess, about 15 ish laps to go, they must have said, giddy up and go, because you went from about 5 car lengths back of super duper veteran Johnny Walker to ride on his back bumper by the checkers. Was that something that was planned where you just said, hey, I'm just going to ride and save the tires? And then at a certain point in the race, they said, go get him, Tiger, and you took off?
Yeah, Joe was telling me, I got a good start, and then I was just scared I was gonna get into the 13th car. I didn't want to get into him, so I let him have the spot, and then Joe just told me to ride. I think I want to believe into the race. Joe started telling me Johnny Walker started pulling me. And I just started gaining, getting more consistent lap times. So I started throttle faster and quicker, and yeah, I just started running smooth laps. I feel like Johnny Walker was a little bit loose. I could tell. Yeah, Joe told me Johnny Walker started getting lap cars. That's when, so I started hitting the loud pedal, and Joe was just telling me all the stuff.
Yeah, still having a little bit of audio there, Trip. I think it may be with the mic or whatever. But we're getting every other word, so you're all good. We're getting it figured out. So with that, um, having a guy like Joe Armandia, I mean a good friend of mine, good friend of Bobby's. I mean we've been around this guy for a long time, multi-time state champion there with the NASCAR Weekly Series and so forth. There, how how cool for you, one, to be driving the car. I mean, same paint scheme. I mean, it's synonymous with Joe, but at the same time, like you're talking about there, you've got that dude in your ear. How big is that for you in your career?
Yeah, I'm just grateful for driving for Joe. Um, he hardly lets anyone drive his car. I'm just fortunate he let me drive. He just wants me to have a good future. He just wants me to have fun, just race. Yeah, but Joe spotting, he's pretty good. Yeah, he's probably the best spotter.
That'd be rough having Joe and his accent in your ear, though. That would be kind of rough, wouldn't it, Rodney? Listening, I don't know. Yeah, you're a better race car driver than both of us, though, Tripp. So I mean, you're a professional, so it doesn't matter who's in your ear. Whether it's Joe or your dad. So, hey, so talk about racing your dad's cars when you get a chance to race those. Is it more intimidating racing Joe's cars or more intimidating racing one of your dad's cars? I know you're scared to wreck them both, but which one are you more intimidated to drive?
Probably Joe's car for sure. It goes way faster, and I don't know. I just like going fast and dirt. I don't know. I haven't been having that much fun lately. I kind of like the asphalt more better.
See, he's starting to sound like Jared Maupin. I have more fun. Dirt's great, but he has more fun on the pavement. That's good. That's a good thing. Your dad was pretty good on the pavement when he ran with us and Tom, so he knows a thing or two about getting around a pavement track.
Yeah, yeah. He's sitting on the couch right now.
It's smart man. Yeah, it's a lot more finesse is the thing. I mean, I think with dirt you can just kind of drive the you know what out of it. Where asphalt, you got to be a little more precise, a little more. You miss a line, you miss a groove, and it's going to cost you pretty bad. Last one for me, Trip. Coming up, rest of the year. I mean, we're kind of getting towards the end of this thing. What's left? I mean, I know we've got some races left in Houston. We're getting into big show season down here in South and Central Texas. What's left on the docket for you in this season?
Yeah, I wanna. I'm leading the points championship for the Emont series. Won that last year, so I'm trying to go back to back in that. So I'm gonna race most of those races, and then asphalt. I'm gonna race 2 more out of the 4. I want to believe we have to double check with Joe and all my schedules. And then I'm gonna try to make the Clash this year. I'm gonna see if Corpus is gonna have a shootout. Probably race that, and then I want to go try to race somewhere up there, up down Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas. I just want to go get the feel of it and stuff, and try to see if I can get a good result.
So are you guys going to be in HEP this weekend?
We're gonna be at I-37 with the mod series.
Ah, okay.
I wish I was racing asphalt though.
Well, you have fun in Emon.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So kind of the big question moving forward next year, is it really one of those things for you to where now it's like, okay, do I want to in 27, do I want to focus on some pavement? Do I want to maybe try to get outside of Houston and do some racing if you're afforded the opportunity, or is it more okay, dirt there's a lot more dirt here, obviously. Do I want to do that? Is that kind of even in your scope right now, or are you going to kind of just let that play itself out?
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it play it out. But if I get to race Joe's car next year, I want to see if I can go race out of Houston. I got to get more seat time. I got to get more consistent, and hopefully get a couple wins at Houston before I go anywhere big. And then on the dirt side, I'm gonna get a little bit faster, try to go race other places and see how I can do there. And yeah, dirt's on my mind too, but I really want to race asphalt. It's been on my mind pretty good, and I've been watching asphalt more, seeing what I could do better the next race than dirt. But probably next I-37, probably go back and watch those races, see what I can do better there. I've been watching the old races to see what the lines are and stuff coming up to prepare. But yeah, I have asphalt more on my side.
Well, the good news, dude, no matter where you go, you'll be able to find those hot moms. That's for sure. So I know you like to shout out the hot moms in Victory Lane when you get a chance. Well, best of luck there at 37. I'll be at Houston, hoping you guys are going to be there. But best of luck in the EMA, dude. And we'll see you in Houston when we get a chance. And hell, man, best of luck. Come check in another time when you get a couple more trophies with us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, buddy, take care.
See you.
You bet. Here he goes, Tripp Whitmire, making some major moves and making them fast. That's quite the step right there. And then
A hell of a
into
step
Joe's
from
car.
in an EMOD to Joe's car.
Yeah. That's.
Well, I mean, he did win. He has won some limited races in his dad's limited, but I mean, you know, that's still a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's been good the entire time. So just goes to show you right there. You start him young. You start that progression the way that the way that you should do it. And boom, there you go. And there you have that dude. He's gonna make a lot of noise. He's gonna make a lot of good noise. Really glad that he's got that opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's a cool deal. It's nice to see when good kids get an opportunity to do cool things. And like I said, I've known his dad for a long time. I've known his grandpa Ronnie, known them a long time. They used to race with us down in Tom's, and good people. Good. It's nice to see good opportunities happen to good people. So
absolutely, and definitely making the most of it. So looking forward to more out of Tripp Whitmire. All right, let's keep the fun rolling. Let's dive in here once again. As looky there, right there, we've been talking tonight about Dolly Parton breaking the internet and so forth with everything that went on there, unfortunately, yesterday. This young lady broke the internet too, but luckily she's still here with us. It is Alli Owens joining us. How you doing, ma'am?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing well. So I want to ask you. We can talk about all that stuff later. But I've followed you for a long time. I've followed your career, and I love what you do. Kind of talk about how you got into this sport. You're a racing mom. I mean, you're doing this. You're doing this the right way. Money you win, you take that, and you're doing different things with it. Kind of talk about how all this started for you.
Oh man, I mean, we got to rewind the tape back. I was like, I'm turning 38 September 2nd, so we got to roll this back 30 years ago because that's when I started racing. And I started racing BMX bikes actually.
Nice.
And yeah, and I grew up racing with the boys, so it was just a natural progression to. Obviously, my dad made the wrong choice by taking me out to Volusia Speedway Park one time to watch the dirt cars. And I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me I get to race with the guys and I don't have to pedal anything? Like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And we did quarter midgets for like a year. And I was like, okay, no, I want to go back to what we just saw at the dirt track. How do we do that? and I got into a full-size stock car at 12. And I think my story is a little different because mine had to kind of start business right away. I didn't get the luxury of having a family that came from having enough money to provide for race cars. I mean, that was, 20 years ago. So it doesn't even cost a fraction of what it costs now to go do that back then. And we still couldn't afford to do it. So I was chasing sponsors down, riding around Daytona Beach on my bicycle at 13, 14 years old and just door knocking. And that's pretty much how I got to go race. And then it got to be really serious right around, I would say 16, when I realized that this wasn't just a hobby for me. Like, this was something that I wanted to do professionally. And my parents just sat down and they're like, listen, like, we just took out a second mortgage on the house. We have financed your race car, the truck, the trailer, everything in this house. There is no more money. Like, there's
Mhm.
nothing else that we could do. And so I actually started to be the car chief for Finish Line Racing School, and that's how I got my first job, was just being a mechanic for that. And it paid the tire bill and like the fuel bill and stuff like that to go race. But I knew that I wanted to go like try to do this NASCAR thing, and so I found an in with an electrical company, Giles Electric, down here in Daytona, and it just happened to be like the right place, the right time. And he's like, listen, the IBW is searching for ways to get younger generations in, and he's like, if you can provide the fact that you think you can go out there and pitch him, I'll get you a meeting in DC. And sure enough, 17 years old, I flew out to DC with my dad, and he left me. And he's like, if this is your dream, if you're gonna do this, it's got to be 100% you. And I went in there and I sold that deal, and I moved to Charlotte, like literally probably 2 weeks after I turned 18, and I started racing for Lee Falk and late models at Tri County and Hickory, and then I found what ARCA was, and I was like, "Oh, heck yeah, I wanna race Daytona.
Yeah.
I wanna do Daytona." And then it just kinda kept going from there, but every time my butt's been in the seats because I found the money to do it. And then I got the rug pulled out from underneath me in 2010, and I just stepped away for multiple reasons. And I just been watching and waiting for this big movement of women to just come through the door, and it's just not happening. Like, I feel like they get to ARCA and then that's it. They try to
Yeah.
go to trucks and then there's just nothing that's happening. I'm like, there's a reason for this. Like, what is the reason? So I told myself, I'm a single mom, sole custody, single mom of three. I went through a very horrible pregnancy with my son. And I said, if we can survive this, I'm going to give myself 60 days. And if I can put an entire deal together for Daytona in 60 days without being in a race car in 16 years, then I'm going to give it back to the girls. I'm going to commit to trying to figure out how we break this barrier down. And that's where we are now.
Oh God, that's excellent, man. I got chills from that. I ain't gonna lie.
You got chills. I got great hair from it. What are you talking about?
I've already got that, girl. So
By the way, happy early birthday, Alli.
Thank you.
That I didn't want to forget, so I started with that.
Thanks.
But you talk about that disconnect, right, between like the trucks and the ARCA into that next
Yes.
level. It's like you've only when people think of lady racers, that's what I can sometimes call them.
Yeah.
Is that you think of the main two you think of nowadays, Danica Patrick, Haley Deegan, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
top two. I mean, obviously they had the advantage that a lot of people don't have. They had money
Mhm.
and connections.
Right.
At least in my opinion. You feel free to agree or disagree.
you're-
But
you're right on it.
is that just the main disconnect? Is it all about dollars and cents, or are the sponsors not finding the right way? Because I mean, there's women are a large contingent of race fans, and they buy a lot of the products that they see on these cars at the grocery stores. So, I mean, where's that disconnect? Is it that simple, or is it
The
more
problem
complicated than that?
is women are too good at marketing that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a lot of attention.
yeah.
It's like our best worst enemy. So, we can go run in the back. We could run one race. We could do very little with and have a lot for our sponsors, return on investment. And I think that's the big part. I mean, you have like Tody Brightinger, who has like Coach and like Raising Canes and like all of these great opportunities to grow and enough money behind those companies. But in reality, it's like, why do they have to spend more when they're already getting what they need out of her?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And it's just trying to figure out, like, how do we not undersell ourselves, or how do we keep the ball rolling? And I mean, somebody, there's so many comments right now going on because I know we'll get into my post, but like when just people are just like talking and they're just literally just talking. They have no idea what those negotiations look like. When we're talking trying to run like Daytona and Talladega, we're talking $100,000 deals per race to go run those races. And ARCA's like now to the point where we're talking $2.5–3 million to run an ARCA series, full season, and that's not very far off from the truck stuff. And it's like, well, okay, so why are we not getting there? And I think honestly, it's just because these sponsors can come in, they could dip their foot in with us, they get everything that they need out of it, and we're just giving it away. And there's really no way to not do that because we are women, like, and it's just a thing, and that's just what we're battling. And it's a tough market to figure that out.
So, Alli, do you take it? Because I totally agree with everything that you say. I mean, you as a lady, you are doing this kind of the wrong way, and where you're trying to showcase your racing talent, the way that you work, all of that, the stuff that's really important. You're leaning on that, and unfortunately, that's not the way it works now. I mean, you've got others that come in and they utilize other tools in the toolbox for that.
Assets, we'll call those. Yeah.
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 Do you take any solace in the fact that it's kind of like that with the dudes too, to where I've said it for a long time, Alli, where there are racers on Friday and Saturday, Sundays that are the best racers in the world that never get the opportunity because they're not in that right position. So racing has kind of shifted to that, it seems like.
I feel like Cletus McFarland is the best female male race car driver out there. Because if you could literally take as a female, what we bring to the table, Cletus is the one that's doing that in the male form. And like, you either love him or you hate him. And the people that hate him are the ones that are just like, well, how come he gets to go get an RCR ride and the guy can't drive a late model?
Yeah.
Because he's doing exactly what we do as a female. So now if us as girls can figure out how to keep that momentum going and like showcase our value and our worth and like not stop. And that was my problem. I feel like back in 2009 is that I just thought it would do itself. Toyota had just come in. I was driving for a great team. I was doing all the things. And I'm like, well, there's no way this isn't just going to keep happening. And then it did. And it's just like, oh, crap. Okay, now what do I do? And I feel like when you get to the ARCA side, there's so much pressure on PR and image and constantly making sure that you're keeping the people who are involved with you happy. You're not focusing or not having the time to figure out, okay, what's my next step and how do I keep the ball rolling? And because as soon as the rug's pulled out, it's pulled out. And it's a long, hard road to get it back.
See, Alli, something you said was really interesting to me, and it's the part about the closeness and yet the difference between the latter, between the money it costs to run ARCA and the money it costs to run trucks full time. And to me, and I love ARCA for the developmental side, even though that's detrimental when you have somebody like Max Reeves that's got all the money in the world and loves to beat and bang and all that. It's a whole other discussion for another show. But is it to me, the haves and have-nots in ARCA are crazy because you can watch an ARCA race and in 5 laps you got 10 cars 2 laps down.
Yeah,
and it's just crazy to me. And I think that ARCA has that. What's the word? They have that stigma, maybe, but the front half of the ARCA field is fantastic. Those guys and even some of the ladies that are running up there are really good at what they do. And it's like ARCA's still just has that. It's like a big four, if you will. You got the Cup, you got the O'Reillys, you got the trucks. You really have ARCA as number 4, but it doesn't, you doesn't get that kind of recognition. Why is that nowadays? It used to be. I mean, why is it nowadays? What do you think it is?
You don't have the Frank Kimmels, you don't have the Bobby Gearharts, like you don't have the people that are making that series its own. It truly is a developmental series. And honestly, we were watching Flow Racing and watching the race, and I enjoyed it. But like sitting with somebody that doesn't follow ARCA, doesn't know the people, he's like, this is actually kind of boring. Like I'd rather turn on let's go watch Anderson Speedway and like watch the pros and the supers run. And then we flipped the channel and I'm like, okay, maybe you've got a point there. Like, so for me, if I could give any advice for anybody trying to go through the ARCA series, and let me tell you, like, I love the ARCA series. I love it because I know that I just like to race. I don't really care so much about the NASCAR title anymore. But when you're still paying, $65,000–$70,000 to go run DuQuoin and Springfield, why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? Like, you either got to figure out how to bring the cost back down. Like when I ran, it was like 35 grand to go run that. Okay, cool. And Salem was televised. You had Speed Channel. You had all this stuff. Salem, by the way, is going to be on Fox, which is FS1, which is so cool. But you pick 4 or 5 races in ARCA, and then that's all you need to do. Like that's all you need to do. And the ones like the Max Reeves and that can run the series, they're just running it because they can afford to run it, which is fine, and they're getting a lot of seat time. But I can tell you, coming back into the late models and like running New Smyrna and like a super and a pro late model, there's so much more driver talent that goes into those local short tracks than I was telling somebody the other day. You could put me in a car and not be in a car for 16 years and throw me at Michigan or throw me at Kansas. I know I could be right there in the top 10. These cars are going back to like a late model. I feel like a lost little duck back there. Like, holy cow, I got to relearn how to drive these
Yeah.
cars again. It's just a different driver talent. So, like, you get more out of driving these local tracks than you would ever get running a full season in ARCA. And then the big problem is when you go to the truck series, you got your top 15, just like the O'Reilly series. You got your top 15. You better have a Joe Gibbs, a Thor Sport. You better have like a top team, or you're gonna run 20th to 35th. And then what is that doing for you? That's You're getting no TV time, no publicity, no nothing. And
Yeah.
that's the problem between ARCA and trucks.
I have to tell you, Allie, I was I was in Iowa. I was at Iowa for work and got done with what I was doing. Went to watch the ARCA race, and it was scary watching some of the cars that were towards the back of the pack. They were so far off the pace, and it's like, man, the discrepancy right here between the. I mean, I hate to say have and have nots, but it all comes down to the dollar. It all comes down to the money and the equipment. It's such a vast difference right there, and that really does suck. I mean, because I mean, I've raced all my life. I've been in racing, but to see ARCA kind of become that, it's a little heartbreaking. I mean, it really is, because that's a great series.
I mean, I got wrecked by a lap car at Talladega, so you're not telling me nothing I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of that was experience too. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like I've done this a few times. So if you're a lap car, I'm going to side draft off of you and pull that air off of you to help me keep my momentum going and not drag myself down. And that was spotter error and knowing my surroundings and who I'm driving, against and with. And for me, I thought, I would have done the same exact move the same exact way if I knew that there was experience underneath me, and there just wasn't. And
Right.
that was a lot of the issues with the ARCA series. But you're right, like a closing ratio in the ARCA car is terrifying.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's like you're running a bomber car with like a pro late model. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. But you have the people that go out there and run it. And here's the crazy thing, we were talking about this too. There are more Crown Vic and more pro late models in local tracks that have a bigger purse than Daytona when you win the ARCA race. It's $25,000 to win Daytona in the ARCA race, and it costs you 100 to 120 to get there. Like, what are we doing? If that doesn't say that this is just for people who need the experience to get to the next level. Like, what are we really doing here?
So, Alli, I don't know. We kind of missed out on you. Talk about your experience starting in your BMX when you were young. Did you have any female influences with racing? Was it like a Patty Bowie, Lynn St. James, Shauna Robinson, any of those old school? The ones that kind of broke the barrier. Janet Guthrie. I mean, did you get inspiration from one of those, or was it just I just want to be a race car driver? I'm not worried that I'm a lady.
It was different for me. I grew up literally, like, I would consider myself very blue collar, grassroots. I was telling somebody this the other day. My parents literally had to go to the high school and tell them she's pulling in the morning with a dually and a 44-foot gooseneck trailer to open up the bus loop so she could park the truck because she's got to go to work on her car after school, and we need to get her out before the buses come. That's the life that I lived. And like, I literally remember being like 12 and I had just won, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this girl. And we had like News Channel 6 show up to our house, and we're like underneath the carport, and I got the rear end out of like my Scirocco, like changing the axle that got bent. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this was just I wasn't exposed to it. I don't come from a racing family. I'm a first generation. Like, I didn't even know that a Lynn St. James or a Janet Guthrie existed. All I knew is this is fun. This is just like four-wheelers. This is just like dirt bikes, but I'm driving a race car against guys. And then I met with Bobby Sears and Dennis Boyd, which are some very legendary people in our area here in Florida. And I grew up learning all this stuff. Like, I literally was 16, and you could put a 350 block in front of me or a mini stock motor, and I could tear it down to the bottom and build it all the way back up. And then being able to do that and changing gears and stagger and plumb bobbing and all of the things that I don't think a lot of the drivers nowadays do. there's a lot of money being spent to have people come and do the cars for them, that they're losing that part of it. So when it came for like inspiration, my inspiration came from the people I saw on Saturday that like are underneath their cars and working on them. And like, I'm like, man, I want to be a Bobby Sears. I want to be a David Rogers. Like, I want to be the legends at my home track, New Smyrna. And then it took one invitation to Lynn St. James Drive Development, and it was in 2004. And I was like, whoa, there's other girls doing this? Like, you're telling me that there's people that have like raced in NASCAR? There's like a Shauna Robinson, there's an Aaron Crocker, there's like everybody was there. Janet Guthrie was there, Lynn St. James was there, and I was in this room filled with like NASCAR officials and IndyCar and Formula One, and then all of these women. I'm like, whoa, like this is such a cool thing to be a part of. And I went to Indiana for that for probably 5 years, and then did her driver development out in Phoenix. And I still am friends with so many of those girls today. And I was 14, 15 years old. So that's when I got exposed to it. It was later in my career that I found out that there's a whole big wide world of females out there. I thought I was the only one.
Absolutely, and it continues to grow. I mean, it does, and hopefully that continues to be the trend. All right, Alli, the post. I saw it. I saw it right after it happened. I agree 100%. I mean, that's part of whoever that was doing that, and just the whole cohesive people of putting that on. You need to know what you're working with. So I put that on a lot of people that you didn't get that they didn't get that right. When you posted that, were you pissed? Was it more of you were just pointing that out? I post a lot of stuff sometimes where I'm kind of trying to be a smart ass. Or was it all of that you did that? And did you think that you were going to get, holy smoke, that response?
I feel like I should have given it more context than what I did, because it looked like I was a whiny child of like, oh my God, they called me a boy. And like when you read it, it's like, man, okay, I don't want to go back and edit my post, because then it takes the integrity away of the comments, and everybody's entitled to an opinion. What bothered me, if this was like at New Smyrna or at Hickory and we're doing a command and they said, gentlemen, start your engines, whatever, somebody screwed up, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's when you are a NASCAR sanctioned series and NASCAR lays the law down on everything that we say. I mean, let's go back to Daniel Dye making a comment over like when he was playing a video game or whatever he was doing, and then he gets suspended indefinitely and like has to go through like, training, sensitivity training, and like all this stuff. Or like when Bubba Wallace had the thing in the garage with like what looked like a noose and it wasn't, and like everybody has to go through sensitivity training. It's like, that's not what I was saying. I wasn't saying like, oh my gosh, they were not inclusive. And I feel like I got a lot of hate from that angle of like, it's not that big. The words itself, not that big. But when you are on a stage like that, and we are spending millions of dollars as females to be there, you have to know the room. You have to know who's on the track, because I can tell you right now, America is like a milked cow. Everybody that's in racing is contacting the same companies over and over and over and over again. So there are a lot of us that are searching international now for companies. Shoot, half the makeup companies, fashion companies, all this stuff, they're not American based. They're European based, they're Asian based, whatever the situation may be. So when you go to a different culture that doesn't follow racing, and you come in here and you're talking about how NASCAR has this diversity program, how there's a big movement for women in racing, and there's all these things, and then you have someone like literally not even acknowledge that there's women in the field, it takes us back so far in conversation to justify that you're spending money in a sport that is identifying for your cause. And a lot of people don't know where corporate America is right now. And I do, because I spent over $4,000 this year to attend meetings to listen to other industries like the WNBA, like volleyball and soccer and like flag football and all these things that are popping off, which people need to realize. Alli Financial, who sponsors the 48 car, was the biggest speaker on how the women's sports is the best thing that they've ever done, and that's where most of their marketing dollars in the future will be spent. So when you're seeing somebody that's like, dang, they're spending a lot of money in NASCAR, and I walked right up to that lady and I said, hi, I'm Alli. I'm actually the only race car driver here. I loved what you said because I'm trying to work on things in NASCAR. She goes, NASCAR? Good luck. And I'm like, that's Alli. And then you have Geico that has pulled out of a lot of their sponsorships with NASCAR, and they're there introducing that they're sponsoring a brand new WNBA team in Dallas.
Yep.
So, like, people can sit there and say what they want to say about my post and that I'm whiny and I'm a left and I'm a feminist and all this stuff. No, I'm talking about the one thing that's preventing us from being in the sport is money. And when you can't get it right, and we're pushing that this is a women's movement and all the women's sports that are blowing off, that motorsports is included, that's what I was upset about. I was just like, man, like, ugh. And
Mhm.
then and as drivers, we are held accountable for everything that comes out of our mouth, the good, the bad, the ugly. And it's just like, okay, can somebody please acknowledge that that was a slip up and then correct it so that the whole public eye knows, like, hey, we want to make sure that we have room awareness. That was what my post was about. But if you could see, it went on a completely different tangent. I did not know that my account could be monetized. My sponsor is Waldo Sports Pub and Billiards. He's like, Allie, do you know you could like make money because you have enough followers and like you have enough? I'm like, I can make money off of Facebook. I was like, I had no idea. I don't even have a TikTok, so who the heck knew that? So I literally clicked monetize and I'm like, oh, I made some money off of this post. So all the haters, thank you so much for all of your comments and thinking I'm some crazy lunatune, because now I'm going to be able to put gas in like 4 girls' cars this weekend off of that post. And I'm like, okay, that's a pretty cool thing. So thank you. I appreciate the hate. It worked. It's now feeding the cause.
Love it.
Yeah.
So tell us about life in Florida down there at New Smyrna. We love Rusty Marcus. He is a cool dude. He's a cool cat. I've known Rusty for 15 years when he used to do the legend cars here in Fort Worth.
Okay.
And he's rocking and rolling down there at New Smyrna. Talk about life at New
Yeah.
Smyrna nowadays, the modern day. It's more than just the World Series of asphalt. They got all kind of stuff happening.
Oh my
over there.
gosh, it's so cool to watch just because I grew up here. Like my house is probably like maybe 15 minutes from the track. And to be truthful, I honestly haven't been out there in probably 16 years. I might catch I go to Volusia. I like the dirt tracks over there. And I just hadn't really kind of put my hand down on the pulse of New Smyrna Speedway. And then I started getting involved back in it. And I was like, man, this is so cool what they're doing now. Like they're really picking up the steam. We actually had 19 pro late models in our last race. And that's like, if you guys, I mean, you guys know with the short tracks, it's hard to pull car counts like that.
Yeah.
And actually, Anderson Speedway for the cars tour, like, I mean, we were very competitive with the same amount of car counts. And it was just like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then they got a really big tomorrow night, hopefully rain holding off. They got the bomber cars, and they have quite a few cars coming out there for that, and some big money races for them. And then they just announced today at 4 o'clock that Cletus McFarland is confirmed to run the Governor's Cup. So as soon as that was announced, I was like, how do I top Cletus McFarland? So there are some new. There's going to be some news coming out here shortly of some ideas and some things I put together today. This is what happens when your mom and the kids are gone, and then you drink coffee, and you're like, well, the coffee didn't really do anything. Let me get an energy drink, and then you're like, woo, now we're wired. Now the brain cells are firing off, and what chaos can I cause today? So I think I put some pieces of the puzzle together that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, that's cool. So just wait. There's some big news coming.
Hey, if you need a place to break it, let us know because we can do it right here.
We'll do that.
I do want to ask you one more thing back to the
Yeah.
post. So,
Yes.
so where you're talking about, and it was kind of what I was alluding to about knowing your audience, whether you're
Mhm.
the one giving the command or the one putting on the damn show. Of all series, the likelihood of a lady being in an ARCA race is probably pretty great, right?
I don't know if anybody's paid attention. We have girls that are literally running in the top 5
All the time.
every race, and not just one,
All
like
the time.
all the time. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen, because I do remember it was me, Gabby DiCarlo, Danica came in for a little bit there, Aaron Crocker came in for a little bit there, but there was never like a field of women. Like they are, and they're kicking butt. Like somebody's gonna win. Somebody is gonna win, and it's gonna be this year. Whether I'm in the Pinnacle cars. It used to be Venturini. You couldn't beat a Venturini car. You know, now they're Nitro Motorsports, and you see a lot of these girls that are just kicking butt in the Pinnacle cars, and I'm like, somebody's gonna pull it off. And I wish my best friend was watching me watch that race, and I had the kids in the car and or in the pool, and I'm sitting there watching the race, and I'm just like, go, go, go. And it scared all of the kids, all 6 of them in the pool. And they're like, what's going on? So then they started watching the race. They're like, who are we cheering for? I'm like, the purple 77. I was like, go. So yeah, I'm the biggest fan of these girls, and I'm ready for someone to do it. But you're right. Back to the post. You have the most female car count and the closest competitive. We're not talking like these girls are showing up and running in the back.
Yeah.
They are earning their spot to be there recognize the fact that it's a hard road to get to. And we are now in the top 5. We're consistent. This should not be a debate. We should not forget that there's females in the field. Yeah, there's my pedestal soapbox.
Hey, I love it. I love it. So I have to ask you. So you, last one for me. You were on the track this weekend. It looks like. So kind of talk to us about that. I guess you're racing Saturday, right? Is that when that is?
Yeah. So we've been running the Pro 8 model at New Smyrna Speedway, and then trying. This weather has been killing us to run supers at Showtime. But we are actually talking about venturing out and running like Cordell in Georgia and running Mobile. And
Nice.
I just really love that it's pushing me to be a better driver, because I do feel like getting in the ARCA car, and they're easier to drive. They're not that difficult once you've been in it. Now, I can say for somebody new, you're probably like, well, what the heck is this? But for somebody like I that's the majority of my career is an ARCA car. Like, that was literally like riding a bike to get back in Daytona and go from 32nd to 6. Like, honestly, could I do that in a late model? Heck no. And I love it. I love that it's pushing me to be a better driver. And the one thing I do love about it as well is it's helping me relate to a lot of the girls that are trying to make that transition up. And how can I, because it's a battle. Daytona, my ROI, return on investment, for my sponsors is greater than half of the cup cars. Just because
Wow.
it just is. And so, like, when you're talking about the local stuff, a lot of drivers need help learning, how do I maximize sponsorship dollars in these series when I don't have the exposure like an ARCA car at Daytona. So I've learned a lot to give back, to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And it's working. And I think 2027, you guys are going to be pretty surprised to see how many girls I actually have running underneath me in their own stuff, but coming through sponsorship programs that I created. And that's kind of my goal for 27, is to have a well-oiled machine that has been failed by the people who claim to have diversity programs.
Boom. Love this. Love this. I do want to tell you, I think it's such a true, your character and the genuineness of you, like you're talking about the money from the post and the monetizing all that, where you're pushing that out, and that's going to go to help other folks. And I've seen that you do this all the time. I mean, it's like, I mean, you're not sitting on TRD money or Hendrick money or all this big pot of gold. And yet what you have, I mean, kind of in true Dolly Parton fashion, like we were joking about earlier, you're like pushing that out to help. That's really so cool to see these days.
The one thing I have always said, and I'll stand by it, and it has nothing to do with her as a person, Danica had the perfect opportunity to change the game for us, and she didn't. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, because it wasn't her prerogative. She wanted to go out there and do exactly what she did. She created a career for herself. She created a life for herself. She did what she wanted to do. She walked away, and she's living a fantastic life and has a great career to look back on. My heart's in a different place. I just love racing. Shoot, I could go run a side by side and on like a crazy dirt track and be completely fine.
Yeah.
My goal is legacy, and I'm raising daughters, and I've raised daughters on my own, and my daughters play competitive sports, and they automatically have their arms, wrapped around each other, because it's a girl sport. We don't have that in racing. And so, yeah, you're right. Like, when I ran Talladega and got crashed out early, I had a whole set of tires, and thank goodness that they, refunded the money, and I took that money and I bought tires for however many girls I bought tires for. And now this fuel thing, and I already have over $200 donated from people who just were like, hey, that's cool, let me give you money. And it just keeps the wheels going. And again, like I said, the Governor's Cup, there's some pretty exciting things there that I put together today. So just don't be surprised if I have a teammate that, there's a lot of things I'm really trying to pay it forward, if you will. I'm 38. There's only a few more years left in this old girl. Let me just tell you, my muscles in the gym are like, heck no, girl. What are we doing?
Now.
No. We are a fan, and we need to be in the grandstands with a beer cheering on somebody else.
No.
But I do have some life left in me. I do want to go out there and run. But I'm really doing it because at the end of the day, if somebody say, okay, my trajectory in this sport changed because of what Alli Owens did, then it made all of the bad stuff I've gone through 100% worth it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Man, great stuff. And look, I'm in my, we'll say early 50s, and my fat ass
Early.
just early. My fat ass just climbed into a dirt pure stock this past weekend and raced. So it never stops. It absolutely.
You know what? And that you're probably right, because I think at any point in time, if somebody asks me to hop in something, I'm just gonna do it. And because it's a disease, it really is. And
I
I
know.
told myself for 16 years I was cured. There is no cure for this stuff. Don't even go to the track. Don't smell race fuel.
I
Don't
know.
rubber. Stay away. Stay away.
Yeah, absolutely. Alli, this has been great. I'll say congratulations on the post because I think it needed to be heard. And I think it's kind of one of those things where it unifies and it reminds people of it's a different day and time. Look, I mean, it really is. It's a different world. Looking
One thing
forward.
I'll say on that post, and here's the last thing that I'll say about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that women are not standing up for themselves because I felt like I was crucified on the cross. Like I felt like somebody helped me on the stake and lit the torch and burned it down, and they created the narrative on what they felt that post was going to be. And if that's what like Natalie Decker goes through and what Taylor Reimer went through when she posted the thing about Natalie, and like, you know, when we're trying to stand up for ourselves and how we feel about this sport, it's either like, do I post this and potentially ruin my career, or do I post it and stand for women? And God love them. If anybody's got something to say, tell me because I will say it. But it was a big lesson for me, very big lesson for me, and a very eye-opening thing of like, wow, okay, all right, here's where we are. This is why we are still stuck, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Alli, thanks for taking the time. Hey, let's do it again soon. Again, like I said.
Yeah, absolutely. I got stuff coming down the pipeline. So
hit us
listen,
up.
the more chaos and trouble I find to create, the better opportunities that come out of it. So who knows?
This thing is #Real Race Talk, and we'd love to have it on here. So
absolutely.
Just let us know. Congratulations. Hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Take care. There she goes. Alli Owens broke the internet the other day, and boom, there she goes. A lot of value in what she's talking about right there, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, lots of gold right there.
Yeah,
gold and grade A experience. That is two things you can't replicate.
Yeah.
You can only read so much in a book and apply it, but when you get to hear real world firsthand knowledge of what works and what doesn't work, that means more than anything.
And the thing about it is, because like I was telling her, I saw it. I mean, I saw it when it came through because I'm constantly on the old Twitter machine to know what's going on. That's my news source. And I saw it and I read it. Really didn't think a lot about it. I mean, what she was saying there, if people are implying that she was being, whining or whatever, I never took it that way. I mean, I kind of took it as pointing out the obvious. And I do get that because I thought, years ago, I thought one of the most insulting things on one of those commands was drivers and Danica start your engines. You remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
But it was, say what you want to say about Danica. I'm sorry. She's in the field. She's a part of that. I mean, it's not and Danica. I mean, it's ladies and gentlemen, but it does go back to, I mean, know your audience, know what you're dealing with. That's pretty epic fail there, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was a rough deal. Although Charles Crawl, our buddy, admitted that it was an oversight. He was one of the first ones, and that they were going to work to do better and work to get it right. But you see that a lot in the older generation. I know that sounds bad to maybe stereotype the older guys, but when you sit there for years, I mean, we didn't have the media coverage for Janet Guthrie and Lynn St. James. It took a while for them. They still say, "Gentlemen, start your engines" at the Indy 500. Right. So it's kind of like, the oldness, the old techniques. It's hard. Like even when I used to do the command down at Texana to get the cars fired up at the end of opening ceremonies, sometimes I had to catch myself to say, I had to tell people if they were going to do it, I had needed to make sure that we had who was in there, because we've got quite a few ladies running E-mods down in Edna, and we needed to make sure, or I needed to make sure that they knew to say drivers start your engines.
Yeah.
And not gentlemen start your engines.
Yeah. And the thing with Alli Owens is, now, I mean, folks are there was a time that she was not even involved with the sport, like she was talking about, to where she was a part of it and she was kind of on that path to do something pretty special. And then, life happens and she kind of went away. But I think you can kind of feel the, just the excitement and just the intensity in her voice when she talks about racing. I mean, that's
she's energized. She's re-energized about it for sure.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things to where something like that happens. and then you get an electric personality like her, and it really has. I mean, it's put her into this different mode right now, and she's putting deals together, and that's what the sport needs. I mean, it really does need that, and the fact that she's kind of going back to the grassroots part and doing those things, you never know. I mean, Lee Pulliam just signed a deal to race in the O'Reilly Series next year. I mean, that's a guy where maybe you wouldn't think that Lee Pulliam was going to be in the O'Reilly Series at some point, and now he's going to be in 2027. So
that's going to be a junior affiliated car too.
Absolutely.
Technical Alliance.
Yeah, but it's really cool to hear. I mean, the way she talks about it, she does it or has done it the old-fashioned way, just working on cars and wanting to race. That's pretty cool.
That's the way to do it. That's the best kind, because she remembers what it's like to put cars back together. She remembers what it's like to fix cars when they were broken, when somebody did something stupid and it broke it when it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. So really good stuff there. We'll get that all cut up and get it out for you and circulate that, because very, very interesting conversation there with Alli Owens, as well as we talked to Tripp Whitmire. Still got to talk a little bit about NASCAR, some of the other stuff that's going on around the country, around the area. But before we do that, I want to tell you about our new friends, Agara Life. agaralife.com/RR. Be sure and go to that website right there. What do we do in the morning? It's usually a combination of getting up, having coffee, maybe taking supplements, maybe taking different medications that you have to take. I have to tell you guys, this Agara coffee, it's a combination of all of that. I mean, no sugar, no carbohydrates, no calories, no dairy, no artificial creamers. It's gluten-free. It's everything that you need in a healthy way to start your day. So what you do, millions of us do it. We start our day drinking coffee and getting the day started. So I invite you to try this. So go to that website, agaralife.com/RR, and check that out. And I promise you, there's other products as well that will really help you out, whether it's the hot drink or the cold drink. All of that's there for you. But I do want to concentrate on the coffee, because I'm here to tell you that coffee is absolutely amazing. It's going to help your mood. It's going to support your metabolism. It's going to do everything. You may be taking a bunch of different supplements and a bunch of pills to do that. Now you can do it all in one thing. It's Agara coffee. Check that out. It is a game changer. It is a game changer. Be sure and hit that website, or you can message me and I can give you additional information. More coming up. But first, how about a word from our friends over at My Race Pass? Absolutely, get that app, and you can follow along with any racetrack that you can't be there, but you can hit that app and get all the detailed information. I love that app. I actually went back after my race on Saturday, went back and saw the fastest lap that I ran, and so forth and so on. So lots of really good information there, and if you're a racer, it tracks your performance. So be sure and check out the My Race Pass app. Going on around here, Bobby, we kind of touched on it. King of the Hill happening in Louisiana at Boot Hill Speedway. It'll be the best of the best in the factory stocks. It gets really kind of like Alli was talking about right there. When I think of this race, I mean, I know that we're going to have over 100 entries, 120, 30, 40 something entries that are going to be in this, but it really does come down to where, what would you say in this one? Anybody in the starting field based on on their starting position, or would you say that's probably about 10?
I mean, they're going to say anybody that makes the main can win it, which is probably true.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have the best of the best minus a few lucky snapped on the right setup kind of guys, just like it is in every major race, right? But it's going to come down to 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the normal 5 or 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's going to be your usual heavy hitters that are always up front. They're the ones that are going to stay up front.
Yeah, it was Cody Smith winning that race last year, and that's a name that you will definitely throw in there as one of those guys, along with Dalton Faulkner and Justin Whitehead, and all of these guys. I mean, it's going to be those dudes right there. Where I look at an event like this with King of the Hill, and I'm actually kind of glad that King of the Hill falls on this weekend. I'm homebound. I've got to be home all weekend before I go back on the road. So it's kind of one of those where, okay, that's good entertainment that I can watch. I mean, I'm going to try to check out Houston. I'll try to check out I-37 as well. But that's a really good race where I look at this to where, okay, if you can make the race, and I mean, I know that this is a very kind of JV way to look at this, but if you can make the race, it's kind of a win. It's kind of a win because that's a hell of a steep slope to get into this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody, I mean, if you're in it to win it, I mean, that's one thing to do it. I mean, there's an evil way of thinking, right? I mean, but we'll see. I don't think the race this year is going to be without controversy because a lot of it's usually something every year. We've seen some of our local guys. When I say local, southern guys go up north and run fairly well. Sweet T's done it a couple of years ago, ran second. So, I mean, it's not impossible for a southern guy to go up there and make some noise, but it's improbable for most time because those guys up there, it really is the best. It really is the best of the best in factory stocks going up there. So
those guys that are at a whole different level. I mean, that's the only way to talk about it. I mean, you sit there and you look at some of those races and it's like, man, it really is. I mean, it's a different, the intensity is amped way up. And I think a lot of that is because they're used to doing those shows. I mean, to where they'll on a week off, they'll go run a $2,500 to win show, or something like that. They're just so accustomed.
They test and tune at $1,000 to win.
Right. They're just in tune with running those big races, but you can catch that on Race On. And then coming up, I guess it'll be next week. Then you've got the Super Nationals. So with that one there, and I saw imca.com today, competitors from 31 states, 3 Canadian provinces, and 2 Australian states are already represented on that 2026 list. Let's take a look here. 240 IMCA modifieds, 169 Northern Sport mods, 155 hobby stocks. The list goes on and on and on. And I am very proud to say that, let's take a look. Texas, 51.
Nice.
51 entered. 51 entered. So there you go. Way to go, Texans. Going out there to represent in Boone, Iowa at the Super Nationals.
Is that before? That's after Labor Day, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of them will be. A lot of those big time mod guys will be racing there in Rocket with stems.
Oh yeah, that's coming up as well. The Brian Mize Memorial, September 3rd through 5th, and that'll be a loaded up program right there. That's all sorts of modifieds that you're going to have on that one. I think that's going to be an exceptional show as well. That's the nice thing about this part of the year, like we were talking about. That's when these start firing up, and you are vastly entertained if you're into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's all kind of big shows, all kind of big money. I mean, it's here. I mean, usually when you start seeing the commercials for football, that means the big money's coming to racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickly over on the asphalt side at the Georgia Summer Nationals at Cordele last week. Here he comes. Bubba Pollard breaks the winless streak. Kyle Larson still hasn't, but Bubba Pollard has. And I've seen this before. You remember a couple of years ago, we were like, oh man, Bubba Pollard, he's kind of slumping a little bit, and then it just takes kind of one win like that, and boom, here he comes. And what's he doing? Kind of breaking out of that funk a little bit, right when it's getting ready to be time for
it's Derby time.
Getting ready for the Derby. So,
and he's always running good at Mobile. I'm sure he'll be at Mobile.
Yep.
Coming up, maybe. Well, actually, I guess Mobile races. Stars is tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile's on Saturday, and then they got that great big Mobile race coming up in October on Halloween.
Yep. Yep. Also on that weekend, this past weekend there at Cordele, Cody Stickler, who had not won this year in the Modifieds of Mayhem, he also kind of breaks that little bit of isn't it funny where you get these guys, they haven't won in, 3 months or whatever it is. But Cody Stickler back on the right side as well. So we'll check him out. The breaking news we talked about, Greenville Pickens Speedway. We talked last weekend about a very grassroots effort by Tasha Porter Coomer to try to possibly purchase that facility. I think we were talking about some of the obstacles and so forth, how hard that was going to be. I did see some local coverage on that from some of the local news sources there in that area. Hey, she's got it under contract. She's got the first part done. So the funding is there. Well, the funding appears to be there. So maybe.
They've got convinced somebody that the funding's there.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
in real estate, that's half the battle.
that is half the battle, and now starts the other part to where now you have to prove it. So, and there's no doubt that it sounds like with everything that she's been working on to get that done, that all of that is there. And actually, thanks to our friend Gina Shile Knowles, I actually did have a little text exchange with Miss Tasha, and she will be joining us here in the very recent. Or the very near future, to talk about some of that. So really good stuff. All right, over to the NASCAR stuff. RCR, what the hell? RCR, they're hiring some young dudes, young guys, gonna run the Xfinity Series. How you like
Carson
that?
Brown, big step up out of late models. That's
racing tonight. He's racing tonight.
Yeah, yep. That's a big deal. That's probably a money deal because it's sponsored by Whalen.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got Chandler Smith is kind of a money deal too, but he's moving up. Obviously, they announced earlier in the week that Austin Hill was going to take over the 33 permanently. So questions arose about that. News breaking about an hour ago, Sammy Smith is not going to be back with Junior Motorsports. That was announced about an hour or so ago. So that opens the door for Josh Berry to come back.
Yeah, we're about to watch some stuff kind of, I think that we're kind of at this stage with NASCAR to where it's been, and you and I have talked about this so many different times, to where it's like people talk about the drivers lost the personality when Dale Jr. stepped away, when Tony Stewart was gone. I mean, people even say Jimmy Johnson. It's so funny. Jimmy Johnson, as dominant as he was, people called him boring and everything, and then now it's like we need a Jimmy Johnson back. Well, whatever. But we're into this thing now to where Connor Zilisch will go to Hendrick, and all of these people are about to start. Kyle Larson, I guess Kyle Larson will be the elder statesman at Hendrick here in a couple of years, to where we're kind of at that point to where some of these dudes are going to get to where, I mean, I question sometimes how long before Kyle Larson says, okay, I'm going to just go do the dirt thing. I'm going to just go do that and kind of take a little bit of the stress away, make it fun again. We're and with these new drivers coming in, I think for RCR, this is where the Austin Hill move, I was like, I figured they were going to do that. And when they finally pulled the trigger on it, I'm like, oh man, ho hum, boring, whatever, Busch Series bully. But now it kind of seems like a really good move now, kind of a bridge thing between Austin Dillon, Austin Hill, and then you bridge over and you got a couple of young guys. So it seems like maybe RCR's getting into the right mindset at this point, finally.
Maybe some fresh blood, a little outside the box. I mean, I think Pop is the one that's resistant to change for sure.
Yeah,
because if he wasn't, they'd be the lead engine builder for Dodge, and Dodge would have at least 4 cars there with their 2 cars and the 2 Colleague cars. But obviously, Childress is GM to the core, so. Because they were going to try to back up the Brinks truck to Childress because he's the only one that can build the motors.
Yeah, and that really is. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, like, with all due respect to Richard Childress, to where it's like, I mean, it's kind of the same thing that I say with the Dallas Cowboys, to where, like, at some point, Jerry has been holding this organization back for so long, just with antiquated tactics and more about the silliness of old school mindset that worked in the 90s. I mean, you look at the Dallas Cowboys and you hear them talking. What are they always talking about? The 90s, talking about how good they were in the 90s. It's like a lot of times when you think about Childress, you think about the dominant runs that they had back in the 90s. And it's 80s. Like, Yeah, exactly. And it's like you got to get beyond that. I mean, Junior Johnson. Remember when Junior Johnson still had his team? It was like, okay, we're still doing things the way we're doing it in the '80s, and they started slipping in the '90s and so forth. So I don't know. I think ultimately for RCR, when Austin Dillon kind of takes the helm of the day to day, I think that's when all that changes. But they will be bow tie all the way as long as Pop's around.
Yeah. Although I did read somewhere the other day that Trackhouse is going to Honda.
Ooh, wow. Well, I got to tell you,
the engine thing. Apparently, it'd be like an IMSA package where it'd be a supercharged V6.
Yeah,
going head to head against the normally, the normally aspirated cup motor. So,
well, and I think the Trackhouse has kind of put themselves in a little bit of a box right now. You've obviously lost Zillage, who goes to the 48 or will be going to the 48, but then you've got two drivers that are going to be racing on expiring contracts, and quite frankly, for the better part of this year, Trackhouse just hasn't been good. But this is where, I mean, you kind of look now to where, the 7 and the 77, those cars, Spire has started to fall off as we get to this point of the year. And it's, I don't know, man, it's a long, grueling season. It takes a special, and that's why when people want to talk about Cup champions, that's where you have to go to the Larsons and the Logano's and these guys that are more seasoned, because I think it's a very small amount of people that are actually ready for the grind that happens. There's just so much going on, like Alli was talking about. It's the sponsorship stuff. It's all of that you have to do, and I think the focus gets lost sometimes.
Well, I think so, but I mean, when you think about Spire has as many wins as Hendrick does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have 2 wins. Granted, one of them was the Rain Short 600, but I mean, doesn't matter.
It's a win.
It's still a win, right?
You know what Rick Mass said about Rain Short and wins?
Yep. He'd be one less. Well, yeah.
I would do it too.
Yeah, he'd give away one. He's got a spare. So I mean, the part with Trackhouse though is like, you heard Dale Jr. on a Dale Jr. download a couple of weeks ago. He was like, they were like, how can you let both drivers be on the same contract? And Junior's like, that's not what you think about. You don't think about that kind of stuff when you're getting there trying to line everybody up. Like, you don't think that you have all your drivers on one contract. Yeah. I'm sure some do, but it's like, I mean, the 2027 market is going to be interesting because I think you'll see I think that's when BK is going to do his last year, will be in 2027. So that's going to open the door for 2028. Some stuff at Roush that's going to open up the door. You'll see some movement there. I don't see SVG going to anything other than a Chevy team. Chastain doesn't give a shit what he drives as long as it's competitive.
Yeah. Well, and that's what will be very interesting. I mean, Denny Hamlin. I mean, he has said that's going to be the end. It looks like Brent Cruz will go to the 11. So
I think what's going to happen with Denny, if he wins this year, he's done.
Yeah, I would love to see him.
And Corey Heim will end up in the number 11, but the number 11 will be at 23-11. That just makes the most sense, and then bring back the 18 at Joe Gibbs.
Yeah. Well,
at some point you got to have the number 11 at 23-11.
I don't know. That's been a Gibbs thing. I mean, that's been, from way back when, with FedEx. By the way, breaking news, FedEx Freight apparently going to be the new title sponsor for the trucks. Hey man, I'm just glad they got somebody. When it's like, when you don't hear anything, it's like, okay, that's not
that
good.
one under the rug for a while. It was, beginning of the season, we talked about it here. There were some rumblings about who it could be. FedEx was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, I can tell you that things happen. I mean, with obviously the company that I work for is, a title sponsor in one of those series. I knew about it months before anything was ever said. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, but I think the whole thing is that, and I think that because a lot of what I've heard being out and about is a lot of people like the fact that O'Reilly Auto Parts is the sponsor of that series because it's automotive based. There's a history there. There's the jingle. There's, all these different things. There's, the O'Reilly 500 and O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 and all that. So people are just real comfortable with this. I think as impactful that Craftsman was, having history there with the trucks, I think that FedEx, even though that it's not automotive, and again, here's Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs involved with this too. I think that it'll be a pretty good comfort level. But honestly, at this point, I think that if folks want to complain about a title sponsor for a series, I mean, be concerned if it's Chaffee Rodriguez Incorporated Truck Series, where that sounds like a fly-by-night company.
Yeah.
If FedEx is involved, I'm assuming that it's going to be multi-year, and I'm assuming that it's going to be something.
It does good to sponsor a radio show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Last thing I had, and Bobby, whatever you have, feel free to throw it at me too. Well done, IndyCar. I was a little concerned. I got to tell you, a lot of times, excuse me, with IndyCar, I'm just apprehensive. It's like it's kind of like Charlie Brown kicking the football with Lucy holding it. You know what I mean? To where it's like, oh God, Lucy, please don't pull the football out. I'm like, okay, something's going to go wrong here. Something's going to go wrong for IndyCar. Hot damn, they got this one right.
It nailed it. I mean, that was right. You were texting back during the pre-race show. Like that was like Indy 500, Daytona 500 pre-race kind of coverage.
Yeah.
And the backdrop was amazing in front of the Capitol, in front of some of the different buildings. Like that was just couldn't beat it. And the most watched IndyCar non-Indy 500 race since 2008.
It's crazy. And that's what IndyCar needs.
3.4, 3.2 million?
Yeah, 3.2, almost 3.3 million. I think it kind of peaked about 3.5. So that's not a bad number when it comes to IndyCar, of course, on Fox. And that's where we've kind of seen we've seen parts of the IndyCar schedule that have come out, and again, it's going to be a very front-loaded schedule because they don't run near as long as NASCAR does, and that's that's a lot now with Fox because you got football that's coming that will come up towards the end. But man, I just hope that things continue to go in the right direction. Just give me some more ovals. I know that's hard. But that was the only thing. That was the only thing, like I told you on Sunday, to where it's like, man, if this was an oval race, I think I'd be a little more dug in because, I mean, Kyle Kirkwood stomped their ass for one thing. But, good for them. Good for IndyCar. They need a good day.
When they took out a full-page ad today in the Washington Post.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you. Of course, it didn't mention anything about the doubleheader coming up in Milwaukee, but not a damn thing. Oh, by the way, catch us with a doubleheader Friday and Saturday on Fox.
Oh yeah, that's about the way that goes. On the local side, we talked about I-37. We'll be racing here, and of course, Houston Motorsports Park with the spectator races. Always very popular there at HMP. Very popular at Texana Raceway Park as well. Fun time there. I was a little apprehensive about all that, but it worked out well.
Yeah, I just wish the other Suburban would have been running.
Yeah,
that could have been some really good shenanigans at that point.
Yep, no doubt about it. And then after that, Labor Day weekend, big stuff coming along. Lastly, in the news and notes tidbits that I have, I was very excited during the week to see with some of the different supercross, motocross forums that I follow and so forth, to where it looks like Monster Energy Supercross will be hitting different venues coming up this year or coming up in 2027. And one of those that has been identified hasn't been totally verified yet. I'm not reporting this. I'm just speculating like everybody else. It looks like San Antonio, a landing spot for Monster Energy Supercross.
Which means it'll take either the Houston date or take the Dallas date. I'm thinking it's probably going to take the Houston date. They got a fairly good. You get a big pool from Jerry World. You can get them from Oklahoma, northern New Mexico, northern Louisiana.
Houston has been the one that's been just very inconsistent. in the more recent times that Supercross has tried it. I know in the times of the Astrodome and so forth, again, a different day and age. I mean, the Astrodome was always at pretty max capacity for whatever Supercross did, and at the same time, so was Texas Stadium with Supercross in Irving. I actually attended one of those back in the, I think it was late '80s, early '90s at Texas Stadium, and it was unbelievable. But Arlington does a really good job of supporting that, and I think a lot of that is also just with media and different things that happen within Arlington. And again, that's a lot of the Jerry World effect. But I think San Antonio, I would assume the Alamo Dome could be the Frost Bank Center. I mean, San Antonio is interesting when it comes to all that now, because with the Spurs wanting a new building, that's where I go back to, and I'd love your thoughts on this, because you're a little more intel with San Antonio than I am. But it's like, so you have the Frost Bank Center that I guess at whatever point could become the non-home of the Spurs, but you got the Freeman Coliseum and all that's sitting right there as well. You have a lot of buildings for use, but I would assume Supercross would be at the Alamo Dome.
It'd have to be at the Alamo Dome, because it holds 65,000. Well, it'll hold probably 60, because they'll tarp off the first couple of rows, but I mean, they spent a lot of money on the Alamo Dome, kind of redoing it with the electric banners, or the electronic banners going all the way around the inside bowl, and redoing their concession and all that when they host the Final Fours and stuff. I've seen the rendering of what they want the Alamo Dome to be. I don't know how that's going to happen.
I know. Without
not using it for like a year and a half. Kind of like when you see the Jacksonville Jaguars new stadium, it's going to be closed for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Where the team where they playing in Orlando now. Yeah. So, I mean, they run enough events in the Alamo Dome where I don't think they're going to close the Alamo Dome for a year. That's what I don't foresee that happening. But the Monster Jam shows that show up at the Alamo Dome are heavily, heavily attended. And it's the same Feld Entertainment that runs both.
Yeah, San Antonio does a really good job with that, because that's where, when you talk about major cities that don't have professional sports franchises. I mean, where I'm at, Austin is obviously the one that pops up most often. And I mean, I've said it for so long, Austin's not going to get one because we have one, but it's not officially one. But San Antonio is that one where you can bring in an event like that, and with a healthy dose of social media and advertising and just fan interaction, you can fill whatever the capacity is going to be for the Alamo Dome for Supercross. I think that there's a healthy contingent of Supercross and motocross people there in San Antonio. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, the history of motocross in San Antonio goes so far back. I think that's a hell of a lot better than Baltimore, which is the other one that I saw mentioned.
Yeah, but I don't understand the Baltimore one, but that's an outdoor stadium. So
I don't get that either. I mean, I would think if Supercross wanted to hit something, I mean, maybe try St. Louis. I mean, hit the dirt at the Dome place, hit the Dome of the Americas. I don't know, but I think San Antonio will be a good landing spot. And I can tell you, if I am home, I will be there for that one, because that.
Man, we went to the one in Houston.
Houston, yeah. I went to Houston. Been to the one in Dallas, and like I said, I mean, it's a very quick, compact show. Be prepared to be entertained and get the hell out of there, because that's their goal. Get you in there, get you
3 hours, right at 3 hours from opening ceremonies to final checker flag.
Very put together TV production, but it doesn't feel like that when you're in the stands.
Well, since they moved everything to Peacock, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
No different than Formula One. Have you seen the ratings for Formula Ones in the United States?
Formula One and WWE are in trouble, my man.
Formula One made the worst mistake ever in the U.S. market, because their ratings are non-existent because nobody wanted to buy Apple.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another avenue where you have to go find this stuff. And a lot of times it comes down to, I just don't want to watch it that bad. I mean, we saw some of the effect with NASCAR being on the streaming service of Prime, but it's a hell of a lot easier to get Amazon Prime than it is to get Apple TV. Now, I will be curious this weekend coming up for the Daytona race on Saturday night, because so you'll be on NBC. So on big NBC for that, but I think I saw as well also on the CW. Is the Saturday night race on the CW as well?
No. CW race is tomorrow, Friday.
On Friday. Oh,
both
okay.
Of them are both of them are supposed to go caution free during green flag racing.
Oh, okay, I read it wrong. Okay. Well,
but you can. I think you can stream the CW
on the
race
app
on ESPN Unlimited.
Oh, okay. should be big numbers. Hope you don't have weather involved there, because that could be something pretty good. Even though not a lot of chase implications there, I think we pretty much know what we're doing at this point. So anyway, fun show, man. Had a youngster, and then we had a veteran driver that is fighting for a hell of a cause, man. Hashtag real race talk, all right here.
That's what it's all about, man. That's the one place where the censors don't show up.
No, absolutely not. I thought that Alli, when she was first talking, I think she was kind of being whatever, and then we said something, and then she's like, "Okay, I think I can let this fly here." So
Yeah.
Really good stuff. That's usually what it takes. All right, for you, Bobby, what's the rest of the week? Besides going to the gym,
Yeah,
we don't need to go into details about that.
The new workout plan, apparently.
Agave coffee, dude. You need the agave coffee. It will help you.
I drink 2 cups of coffee a day as it is now. So,
but it's not that coffee. It's not that coffee. I'll hook you up. I'll get you. But
I'm helping out again in Houston. There's some, obviously Terry Barton's on the mend. He's going to try to be there after his health complications, but they need a little help while Jen works with some sponsors and stuff. So I decided to go back down there again. And then after that, UTSA football starts back up, and then I won't be back after this weekend. I won't be back at a racetrack until the Clash in October.
Nice, excellent. Well, it's a big show season, and that Clash is only getting bigger. Details to come. We will get you all filled in with all of that. I'm home. Then I go on the road next week, and I got to tell all you guys out there, you guys have race cars. I picked up my suit from the dry cleaner. I've got my helmet sitting over there. I'm about to put it back in mothballs. If y'all need me, you better hit me up, because I'm about to put that stuff up. And if you need me to race, hit me up. Bobby, that shit was fun.
I know. And your dad's excited too. So,
yeah, I got to tell you, I got done with that race. I came walking up, and the finish should have been better than what it was. I mean, but I ain't bitching about it. But I came walking up, and he like hugged me and shook my hand. He's like, "Damn, that looked good." I was like, "Yeah, still got it, Dad. Still got it." Well, at least I did that day. But hell of a lot of fun. And if I can, Bobby, I do want to thank Tony Blankenship, obviously, Cord Beard, Monty Chamberlain, the driving forces that really helped put that together. Bobby, you as well, for everything that you do out there for the racetrack. Just a lot of people. Yeah, the staff, everybody was so cool coming over Saturday, making me feel welcome back there. The coach, Caitlin Leonard. I mean, just everybody. I mean, it was really cool. It felt very special, and it was really cool to have Dad there. So
yeah, we had a good time, and the Jamie Williams thing was really cool too. So
yeah, no doubt. And I got to give a big thanks as well to my man Josh Freeman, taking really good care of me on Saturday. Obviously, he had the Natty Light there when the races were over, but he was. Helping me in and out of the car and giving me different things and so forth. And he made a change. And this is something that Dad and I were talking about. He came over and made an air pressure change on my car before the heat race. And that's, like I said, the heat race, I was still kind of trying to work on some things. He made a change that changed everything, and pretty cool. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tuxedo. Good night out there.
Yeah, just think, if you didn't have anything to do this weekend, you could be running a truck.
Can't this weekend, but maybe doing that at some point. TBD. So you all stay tuned.
And there could be a race at Texas. Oh, you're not in town that weekend.
I am on Friday. Don't the Hobby Stocks race on Friday?
Hobby Stocks run on Friday. No. Yeah. Hobby Stocks are on Friday because they get the option to run at 105 on Saturday.
Stay tuned for details. All right, y'all. Been a fun show. Bobby, as always, appreciate you, man. Thanks to all of you for checking in. Be sure and share this. RevvedUpSportsShow.com is the spot to go. Check out on-demand shirts. Of course, they are the official apparel provider of Revved Up, Dirty Air, Bobby Chaffee, of myself, and they can hook you up as well. All right, friends, we'll do it again next week. And again, thanks to Tripp Whitmire, thanks to Alli Owens, and thanks to all of you. This has been hashtag Real Race Talk. It is the Revved Up Sports Show live every week right here from Texas. You all be well. and we will see you soon.